Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
When youth meets the jianghu, the unexpected spark between young Chaoyue and Liu Yuning ***. In the vast, ever-changing world of Chinese costume dramas, audiences have grown accustomed to seeing familiar faces, familiar plots, and familiar promises. Yet every once in a while, a pairing appears that quietly reshapes expectations, not with noise but with curiosity. This time it is young Chaoyue and Liu Yuning. At first glance, their collaboration in the wuxia drama, Who is the Hero, may seem like another carefully calculated casting choice. But look closer and a different story begins to unfold. One about growth, contrast, and the subtle chemistry that arises when two very different journeys intersect in the same martial world. A girl carried by luck, a man forged by time. Young Chaoyue's rise has often been described as miraculous. From a small-town girl to an idol thrust into the spotlight, her career has been shadowed by labels. Lucky, fragile, protected. Critics questioned her acting. Fans defended her sincerity. What remained undeniable, however, was her presence. An innocence that cameras could not erase. Liu Yuning's path, by contrast, is carved from persistence. Once known primarily as a street singer and livestream performer, he climbed step by step, voice by voice, role by role. His height, deep timbre, and unconventional charisma set him apart in an industry obsessed with polished perfection. Over time, he became something rare. An actor audiences didn't expect, but remembered. When these two worlds meet, the result is not explosive spectacle, but quiet tension. And that is precisely what makes it compelling. Entering the jianghu together. Who is the Hero draws from classic wuxia roots: brotherhood, loyalty, betrayal, and moral ambiguity. The jianghu is not simply a battlefield of swords, but a testing ground for character. Young Chaoyue's role reflects a transition. No longer the sheltered girl of earlier works, she steps into a world that demands emotional resilience. Her character is not defined by strength alone, but by how she survives loss, confusion, and shifting allegiances. Liu Yuning, meanwhile, embodies a figure shaped by the jianghu itself. Someone whose humor masks scars, whose composure hints at stories untold. His presence brings weight to the narrative, grounding youthful idealism in lived experience. Together, they create a dynamic that feels unforced. There is no need for exaggerated romance or dramatic declarations. Their interactions breathe, pauses linger, glances carry meaning, silence speaks louder than dialogue. Why this pairing feels different? In an era where traffic value often overshadows storytelling, this collaboration signals a quiet recalibration. Young Chaoyue represents the audience's hope, the belief that sincerity can mature into depth. Liu Yuning represents trust, proof that time and effort eventually translate into credibility. Their pairing is not about perfection, it is about contrast. And contrast is what keeps viewers watching. The production understands this. Rather than forcing chemistry, it allows it to emerge naturally, shaped by the narrative rather than social media expectations. The result is something increasingly rare. A relationship on screen that feels earned, not manufactured. Beyond the screen, a reflection of the industry. This drama arrives at a moment when audiences are growing more discerning. Flashy CGI and familiar tropes no longer guarantee loyalty. Viewers want evolution in characters, in performances, in casting logic. By placing young Chaoyue and Liu Yuning side by side, Who is the Hero subtly mirrors the industry itself. Youth meeting experience, fame meeting substance, questions meeting answers. It asks a simple but powerful question. What happens when potential is given time, and persistence is finally seen? The quiet power of anticipation. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this pairing is not what has been shown, but what has not. There is restraint here.
No overwhelming promotional noise. No exaggerated headlines.
Just enough intrigue to invite curiosity. And in today's content-saturated world, curiosity is currency. As the story unfolds, audiences are not merely watching a drama. They are witnessing two careers at a turning point. One learning to deepen, the other learning to shine differently. Conclusion. Not just a drama but a crossing of paths. Who is the Hero may present itself as a wuxia tale of swords and brotherhood, but beneath the surface lies a quieter narrative, one about timing. Young Chaoyue arrives ready to be more than she was. Liu Yuning arrives prepared to be exactly who he has become. Their meeting is not loud. It does not beg for attention, but it lingers. And sometimes, in storytelling as in life, the most unforgettable moments are the ones that do not shout but stay. When silence speaks louder than hype. What makes this pairing truly fascinating is not what trends online, but what quietly settles into the audience's memory after the screen fades to black. In many dramas, chemistry is announced before it is earned. Trailers shout. Marketing insists. Viewers are told what to feel. Yet here, the connection between Yang Chaoyue and Liu Yuning unfolds almost accidentally, as if discovered rather than designed. There is a certain honesty in that. Yang Chaoyue does not suddenly transform into a flawless heroine. Her expressions still carry traces of hesitation, vulnerability, even uncertainty. But instead of weakening her performance, those qualities become the character's emotional core. She feels like someone learning how to stand in a world that refuses to slow down for innocence. And Liu Yuning does not overplay his authority. His strength is restrained. His confidence comes not from dominance, but from calm, the kind that only arrives after storms have already passed. His character listens more than he speaks, and when he does speak, the weight feels earned. Between them there is space. Space for the story to breathe. Space for viewers to project their own interpretations. Space for emotions to grow without being rushed. The beauty of unspoken understanding. One of the most striking elements of their on-screen dynamic is how often words are unnecessary. A look held just a second longer. Pause before a reply. A quiet moment shared amid chaos. These are details easily overlooked, yet they are precisely what give the relationship texture. It is not built on dramatic confessions, but on shared survival within the jianghu. They are not bound by destiny alone, but by choice, choosing to trust, to stay, to wait. And that subtlety resonates deeply with modern audiences who have grown weary of exaggerated romance. Why viewers are leaning in. The response to this pairing reveals something important. Audiences are no longer satisfied with surface-level charm. They want authenticity even if it comes with imperfections. Yang Chaoyue represents a kind of emotional transparency rarely polished away. Liu Yuning represents a masculinity that does not need to prove itself loudly. Together, they offer something refreshing. A relationship that does not rush to define itself. Instead of asking, will they fall in love? The drama invites a different question. How will they change each other? And that question keeps viewers coming back. A turning point hidden in plain sight. For Yang Chaoyue, this role marks a quiet but crucial shift. It is not about suddenly silencing critics, but about redefining expectations. She is no longer merely reacting to the world around her. She is engaging with it, learning its rules and occasionally challenging them. For Liu Yuning, this project further cements a transformation already underway. He is no longer seen only as a surprising choice, but as a dependable presence, an anchor in stories that require emotional gravity. This drama does not announce these changes. It lets them reveal themselves over time, and that patience is rare. The jianghu as a mirror. In classic wuxia, the jianghu reflects the human heart, its conflicts, contradictions, and compromises. Who is the hero honors that tradition, using the martial world not as spectacle, but as metaphor. Here swords are not just weapons. They are decisions. They are consequences. They are lines drawn between who one was and who one chooses to become. Placed within this world, Yang Chaoyue and Liu Yuning's characters are not merely players in a plot. They are travelers on intersecting paths, each carrying different burdens, each searching for meaning in motion. Not a loud love story, a lasting one. Perhaps the greatest strength of this pairing lies in its restraint. It does not demand applause. It does not rely on controversy. It does not chase viral moments. Instead, it trusts the audience to notice. And those who do stay. Because long after the final episode, what lingers is not a single dramatic scene, but the feeling that something genuine passed quietly through the screen. An ending that feels like a beginning. As Who is the Hero continues to unfold, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This collaboration is less about answering questions than about opening doors. Doors to more nuanced performances. Doors to casting choices guided by story rather than formula. Doors to a jianghu where growth matters as much as victory. Yang Chaoyue and Liu Yuning do not arrive as finished legends. They arrive as people still becoming. And sometimes that is the most heroic journey of all.